1. And it's super slow. Oh, damn it, it's nothing. Yeah, okay. And there is a little something. So, okay, this is the logo of the company. I designed it completely drunk. Okay, so this is oh damn, it's huge. Okay, so the name of the company is Luxigon. Like it's written on the screen, we are doing competitions and only competitions. I mean, it's 99% of our job. We drink a lot and we smoke, and it's not allowed, but I don't give a fuck. We are not sleeping, not that much. It's getting better with the age, but it's, at the very beginning it was complicated. And seriously, we have no mercy. I mean, we are not interested into money. What we like is doing images, and that's it. So the office was founded in 2007, and we just opened an office in Los Angeles last year. We are more or less 20 people, and well, we do things and we are mainly friends, which means that there is not this business idea behind the office. I mean, when I'm saying I'm not interested in money, that's for real. Though I love little money as everyone, because, you know, I want votes and whatever. Okay. Slide number 2. The basics. So I will try to explain a few things about images, like, because most of the people are assuming that images are, you know, just images. Actually, we've read a little, we know a little about a few things, and when you are doing an image, it's not a process, you know, that is automatic. It's certainly not a science. We did some really miserable rendering, but we have an idea. I mean, it's not that we are intelligent. Well, we are French, so we are intelligent by essence. But in the end, yeah, it's based on a few principles. And this is what I want to show you, is that it's not only a matter of computers and, you know, I don't know, software. Okay, so the point is that the images are a bit like architecture. As you know, architecture is something serious. And images, because this is the step before going into something serious, is serious as well. So this is why you have this really fancy graphic, which is explaining more or less everything. So it's written. The idea is that there is a tangible world, there is an, I would say, intangible world. And architecture and imaging are sharing the same common, you know, well, English is not my native language, so sometimes I would do, like now. So yeah, more or less it's the same, but one costs nothing and the other one costs zillions. So we are the good guys. I mean, if we screw things, it costs nothing. So yeah, it's, what is interesting as well is that the image of architecture are sharing, you know, some laws. That is fantastic, thank you. Because of course I'm French, so my computer just ran dry and I forgot to plug. That is okay. Well, when it starts, I will plug everything. So the point is that because architecture is really related, strongly related to geometry. And actually, for centuries, they did building without knowing any of the laws of geometry. And what is interesting is that if there are laws in geometry, it means that in a way it's not a divine moment. If there are laws that are, you know, always working, then it means that gods have not nothing to do with all these laws. It's just like, this is it. And surprisingly, the drawings and the architecture were sharing the exact same existence at some point. And because of this, because they discovered the law, actually, for example, the Greek, they found some of the law, for example, at the Parthenon, you know, the columns are already slightly inclined to, you know, make the geometry more perfect. But it was a mystery until it stopped being a mystery. And then they were using device, which as well is interesting because we are drawing images. When I was younger, I did it by hand. Now I'm really relying on the computer. And what is nice is that most of the device, you have naked women in front of them. And I don't know why, because I mean, geometry is something really serious. But every time I found a device that was helping, understanding geometry and everything, there is a naked woman in front. I don't know why. I have no idea. But maybe the idea that was intelligent people wants to see naked women. I think. Okay, this is a nice Jeep that will dry the battery. Okay, now the computer. This is so it's a brief history of time. I mean, into the technique, and then we will draw the images. But so what is interesting is that at some point it has become much more easier to envision architecture than what it used to be because of the machines. The machines are helping tremendously because what is complex, the machine can handle. And actually, it's a bit more complicated when you only use your hand. So this is the first MacBook Air, if you can see here. It was weighing a ton, and it was costing like $1 zillion. Yeah, Apple at the very beginning they were not that good, but then it went better. These are the first computer graphics. Interestingly, the first computer graphic is a naked woman. What's surprising, eh? Not a machine, not, you know, something, naked woman. It's always working. And then a telephone, of course, hold a naked woman. And then you feel miserable. Well, so to say, in a few, I mean, and I'm speaking decades, not centuries, there have been a tremendous step into the method of visualization. Still, bad buildings remains bad buildings. Bad drawings are still bad drawings. But it's just like, really into nothing, because when I was younger, for example, I'm sorry, maybe I'm speaking too fast again. When I was younger, you know, just making shadows by hand was taking like weeks. It was extremely complicated. Well, a computer can do it in 3 minutes. And actually, it's surprisingly, the architect are not using the computer that much. I mean, as a drawing board, but never as a way to experience with materials. It will come, but for the moment it's not exactly the case. So just watch the fancy drawing and remember that naked women is always working. Sorry girls, but that's the way it is. Okay, the same thing is that, for example, the first movie, Tron, was made with a NASA computer. It was costing like an enormous amount of money. It was extremely complicated just to do, you know, curves and actually a bit of lighting. While actually, I can do this with just a MacBook or whatever PC you want. And it's interesting because this power that you have might or may lead or is leading to disaster. I mean, it's not because it's easy that you don't have to think. And this is what I want to show you through the images that we will see now. It will be boring as hell, but at least you will understand something and learn a few things. And then you can get drunk in the park if you want. Okay, this is like one of the first images. And actually it's interesting because it's already symbolic. I mean, if it was simple to represent reality, then people will have made, you know, accurate horses or accurate beasts. But no, it has to stay simple because our mind is not made to understand everything and to handle complexity. And it's actually interesting that part of my job is actually to remove the complexity, so the essence of the building is actually, you know, shown as its most pristine state. This is why I will show you a few images. I will go a little fast because I guess you're a bit tired. Yeah, for example, so these are paintings actually from Bombay. And what was interesting is that actually all the laws of perspective was already there. I mean, the geometry is correct, everything is correct, but it wasn't made like official. So surprisingly, it has been lost at some point. People were representing reality accurately, but without knowing the rules, which is interesting. And what is more interesting is that I think it's really twisted to represent exterior into the interior of a room. I mean, people are really well, the Romans are especially. Okay, then we're going to the medieval time, so I'm going quite fast. What is interesting is that, as you can see, all the angles are actually, really rectilinear. I mean, it's all, which is surprising because actually it's not happening for real. I mean, there is always one point perspective and one or two point perspective, right and right or in the middle. And actually, what is nice is that it's already a mental image and not at all the reality. As well, what is interesting is that while the geometry is kind of nice, the proportions are completely weird. And I mean, it would be stupid to just put someone in front of a massive building and you will check that there is the wrong proportion. The reason is that there were humans, so in a way they were more important than the building that is behind. So this is why this notion of scale is as well embedded into the drawing. I'm not clear, but that's the idea. I'm French. Okay, so again, another one. Yeah, so the rules of perspectives are not official. And this is, so the theory is already done. I mean, now they know that there are points and that the lines are just going in the direction of the points, and that's it, more or less. And then they did this drawing, which I think is extremely interesting for a good reason. Is that it's called the ideal city. And actually, the ideal city is all empty. It makes sense, no? I mean, you do buildings, but with no one in it. Perspective is not great. Human is the failure. This I love as well, because in the painting, so it's a painting by Broche. I love Broche because actually it's like a movie. It's showing little pieces, moments of life. And what is interesting is that you have the building, the way it has been done, because you can see the architects and the workers and everything, and the way it's used. And as well, as a method of representation, it's nice. At first it was only the building, and then the building with the people, and then the building with the people, and the people who did it. And there is a story in a building, like you've seen in the previous lecture. I mean, what is interesting is all you get there are not actually the final result. As well, it's interesting because it's showing, aerial views, which is in a way another mental process. To see things from top is not that obvious. And when you see things from top, you understand the organization. And as well, when you are doing a drawing or an image, you have to think what is the best method to show what the architects want to show. There is 100 images to get ready to. Okay, this is Rembrandt. I'm putting the Rembrandt because this is just me. I just love Rembrandt because it's dark, it's depressing. There are some special effects, which is interesting because this is the same special effects you have in movies, but as well it's a mental image, something that is floating in the air and taking fire. It doesn't exist in reality. So as well, it's a mental image. Even if it looks real, it is not. And it is interesting as well to think about what seems obvious, but it's not, because you have to invent it. Then we go for the father of every perspectivist, so it's Canactions, who did many images from Venezia, and actually he was earning his life, so to buy boats or to buy horses or to go with women, by making wonderful paintings of castles and everything. They were all wrong, of course, because this is as well what we are asked to do. The reality is not enough. You have to cheat because it's just one image. And in that case, for example, the original was much smaller. But well, what's the point of when you do an image? What's the point of making it smaller? While it's the same price if you do it bigger or in gold. Same thing. It's interesting because, as you can see, it has started to do something that is unusual, is showing buildings in a depressive way. And this as well is kind of new. I mean, there is a certain freedom at the Renaissance, well, at the late Renaissance, but to express things the way you feel they are, and not actually the way the client wants to show them. And there is a story about this. This painting and the carpet that is here that I will tell you another time because we don't have time. Okay. As well, this is interesting because I think the theme here is the city. So one of the greatest drawer, in my opinion, is Giovanni Piranesi. You know very often the James or the prison, but as well he has invented a complete city made of past, ancient, new, whatever it is. And this is what is as well interesting into drawings, is that it costs nothing. So the imagination is just the limit. So you can go very wide. And in a way, I'm still an architect. I mean, I'm a registered architect. I'm still doing competitions and everything. But I'm much more influenced by drawing than actually by a real building. I don't know why, but it's just like it doesn't look legal and it costs nothing. And it has no weight. So I feel there is a certain freedom into that. Well, moving to the next one. So this is a French guy. So it's Louis Boulet. And what is interesting is that because it's just drawings, they went into really well places of the mind. It was way before you can actually build it, but now we know that it is possible. And this is what is interesting. I mean, by the drawing, you can experience things. And of course, people say, well, it's not possible. Did you see the scale of the people here? It's not possible, but actually it is now. And this is really something you have to think about. I mean, drawing is never, it's not something without any importance. It has an importance because it will be in your mind, it will be in your brain, and much better you can have them, I don't know, on your iPhone, on your wall or whatever. And this as well is interesting, the power of the drawings. This is the first picture ever taken by France, of course, by a French guy. It's just by the window, but it's interesting because at that moment the painting were actually much more realistic than the photographs, the pictures. And this is quite interesting because at that moment they can paint extremely realistic, I don't know, fruits, animals or whatever, but the first picture, even if there were, subject to show through things, were actually much more graphical than the painting. And it's as well something you have to keep in mind. It's that it's not because it looks real that it is real. Actually, this is real, while something else is not, but it's a painting. This picture is as well something I really like. The reason why I'm showing it is it's Paris. And what I like is the small story into this picture. Actually, it's the first time a human has been taken on a picture. Because, as you know, when the first camera were extremely big and you have to open the diaphragm to like a minute, 2 minutes or 3 minutes. And it was just impossible to have someone, clear and neat. Because, of course, there were a lot of people on there, but they were working. So the camera didn't stop the movement. And actually this guy, because he decided to, have his shoes done, he stayed on the image. And this is as well something that I like in images. The other plots, the small stories, that if an image is fading, there's still, something else to watch. And this is as well something I'm interested in. Okay, it's not too boring. Would you like me to speak slowly? No, okay. This as well is interesting. It's Claude Monet, so it's the Cathedral of Rouen. And what is nice is that actually the painting has even more detail than a Gothic cathedral. And this is as well surprising. I mean, a picture of this gives nothing, while a drawing is giving the full essence because of the small scale, you know, of the brush, and you have density that you just can't find in reality or for truth. And this as well is an interesting point. So just browsing through, you know, a few things. Okay, this is like it was when architects were doing their own drawings. So it's from light, and there's also like a scan. And what is interesting is that actually it's exactly like that for real. So there are a few people that actually can really think clearly what they have in mind and actually represent it and then do a drawing about it. It has changed now because it has become more technique and architects don't have the time to experience all the softwares. This is drawings by Santelia, so it's a bit the same as the J's and everything. In drawings, you can do whatever you want. So you can change the scales, you can change the proportions, you can change the way it's done, and it's never forbidden. And actually, Santelia had a huge influence and a huge impact on modern architecture. And it has taken no time that these fake things have become true. And for example, in the Soviet Union, the truth. This as well is something, yeah, that's my job. My job is, you know, there is the Universal Exhibition. You do a building that is already extremely complicated with a lot of cost, but it's not enough. They want a light on top of the Eiffel Tower, because, you know, the Eiffel Tower in itself, it's not enough. You need a bloody light on top of the Eiffel Tower, and to light it red. And this is, in my opinion, this is the depressing part of my job, is that when something is good, why the hell would you like to add something else that what is already good? And there is the fear that what you do is not enough. And I strongly believe that when you're doing a building, and even when you're drawing an image, what you're showing is actually an attitude and not, you know, a building. It's an attitude that you're showing. And this is like too much. I mean, of course there won't be any real Maharaja in the middle of all that, but this is advertising architecture anyway. And this is exactly what I don't want to do. But I have sometimes to do that. This is like the most wonderful perspectivist, and probably the first one, because it was really his job. It's Hugh Ferris. It was showing building in a very elementary way, but with a lot of drama. And this as well, I think, is interesting. It took me like 10 years, well, 7 years, to make people admit that night is dark, like black, all dark. And it's impossible. And for example, that before the computer, to explain to an architect that the windows are not blue or reflecting blue, they are reflecting blue only if there is a blue sky. If there is a grey sky, it will reflect grey. But there was codes like, you know, the sky is always blue and the windows are always blue. That's the essence. And actually, this was the very beginning of when I really became interested into doing images. It was the moment when, what the hell, I want to do a dark night, and that's it, because night is dark, and you're building windows night in the dark and point down. But it has taken like so many years to make it. And this guy, he did it. And actually, what is nice is that he was working for Miss van der Rohe. This is a Miss van der Rohe building, and the style is not at all Miss van der Rohe, and the expression is not at all as well. But this is a fantastic drawings because there is nothing. It's just a shape, and you can barely read the floors. But this is what is fine, what is nice. It's that it is a mental image. And then we're switching so this is the guy. So it was really huge. It's not like being on the screen. I mean, it was huge, and it was painting and charcoal and everything. It was incredible. The guy died from smoking the same way I will. Yeah, I'm a bit, sometimes I have my moments of depression, but very short. but on stage, because, yeah, that's French. We're explaining what we're doing. Okay, this is my favorite architectural drawing. It's a drawing by Miss Van der Rohe, and I think this is all. This is the building. This is the attitude. This is nicely done. I mean, the proportions are just incredible. I mean, and what Miss is showing through this drawing is himself, what he wants, what is the method, what is the relation in between the object. Well, to tell it frankly, it's what it is. This drawing, in my opinion, is reflecting 99% of what Miss Van der Rohe is. And this is why I love drawings and I love images, because they have real meaning, they are deep. And again, it's just a collage. It's just maybe you did it in 10 minutes. And this is what I like. I mean, your mind is free, you have 10 minutes, you do a nice collage, and some French will explain, some people from Kiev, oh, it was wonderful. David, life is always a surprise. Okay, oh, this one I love. Is it? Well, I don't know what time is it. This I had to show you because it's called the hand trick. You know, when you do something extremely complicated and you want to fake like it's extremely simple, you just put a hand and it looks like a magic trick. And it's extraordinary because the effect is always the same, but it's super complicated what to do. No, watch my hand. Yeah. Oh, good, oh yeah. I see that. It's cool. But it's not, of course, it's just a trick. So you students, when you have, for example, you did something extremely complicated and that is difficult to explain, just take a picture with the thing in your hand. It will explain everything. And so you can go and get drunk in the park. Which is the essence of life, of course, you know. That's the plan voisin from Le Corbusier. I mean, it's not really funny, but what is interesting in the drawing is this as well. It's an axonometry, and it's showing the ambience. I mean, the cars. Have you seen how many cars there is in there? I mean, the people, the cars, the everything. It's nice because as well it's a trick. I mean, if you want to show that something is working, you put a zillion people. Make it a simple rule. When you do a building and you put only one guy, people will be depressed. If you do a building and you put a zillion people and kids with balloons and dogs and girls can sing and everything, yeah, this is a successful building. Don't do that, it's bad. But still, you have to have your life, so maybe do it sometimes. Okay, this is as well one of my favorite. Of course, naked girls work. Always working. This for the boys, always working. This is as well something I think is extremely interesting because it's a drawing by Oscar Di Meyer. And what is nice is that actually I've checked the proportion of the drawings are the exact proportion of the final column, the final facade. And it's surprising that a few people are really capable of synthesizing exactly what I have in mind and make it like it's a perfect proportion. This is something that I would like to do, but unfortunately I'm too dumb. But it makes me dreaming always. I mean, and of course because it will work, you have time to draw naked women and a pair of them, by the way. This is cool. Yeah, this is what I love. It's Julius Schulman. So Julius Schulman has a tremendous importance in computer rendering because he made the situation perfect. And this is fantastic. Making a situation perfect is a work of art. I mean, look at that girl. It's the colors are perfect. The guy is ready to serve a martini or something. She's looking at a kid playing, you know, blonde girl, just and then you want to be a part of it. I mean, I fucking want to live in this house because this is the perfect light. I can be tall in a house like that because it's just my imagination. It's the same here. Look, like Los Angeles, the calm of the night, the beautiful, you know, insect. That's fantastic. And even better, look at that party. That's a party. That's what I'm calling a party. She has a glass with candies. And the guy, you've seen that it's all metal fire, but it doesn't burn. That's life, as we wrote it. Oh yeah, they are fire, you don't have the sound of it. Okay, this is what is extremely important in terms of what has been done in drawings. I mean, I'm teaching at the school architecture as well, and most of the students, they really think that Luxigon is working because the images are so pregnant, so important, that students are really thinking that you can make city that moves, that you can have this sort of thing. That has been the most terrible problem in my career, to explain like it's mental, it's not for real. I mean, you can't build, housing into mountains and put trees on top of it because it's just not working. You need to have, a window. You need to have everything. And this is as well one of the most. It's an important impact, and they build nothing or nearly nothing. Most of the Archigon guys, well, except the Saint George, but it's nearly nothing. But their image, they have this incredible influence, and most of the architects working actually are really influenced by Archigon because they're cool, and the name is nice as well. I love Archigon. I think it's. Who are you? The guy from Archigon, like a class of Germany. Hey, nice, huh? It's just nice. It's a city. It's not a city. It's a bit of the actual city. There are people, there are cars, the bridge. It looks like now. Surprisingly, with a lot of drugs, but still, yeah. This is one I love. It's super studio. It's Italian studio, and they were here to frighten you. And as well, I think fear and doom and nasty things are really a vector of power. And I don't see the point of not using fear in a drawing, because officially it's working. So why not? And this is what they did. They terrified the good people. We will do this. What? But my house is just, well, we don't care, damn it. We're just building a huge structure and that's it. Go away. Of course they didn't, but yeah. You bought a house just here. That will be your problem. Actually, it's not that fake, because, in Italy there is a building that is 1 kilometer long. So, in a way, it's really happening, and it's good as well, because drawings, they have a political meaning. I mean, if I really want to fuck an architect, because I don't think these projects bad, I just have to do a bad drawings. And I have this, I have an advance compared to him. I'm good at drawing. And if he's doing a bad project, I can do a very bad drawing and then show it, and then it's done. In a way, I'm a superhero of small size, but still. I'm not very courageous as well. Okay, this is as well someone I love. It's a Sid Mead. He did the design for Blade Runner and a lot of movies. And what is nice is that you see the method of representation. This building looks of the right scale. I mean, it's something you understand. But what is nice is that with a drawing, you can make things much bigger. And then you are translating an emotion. You are doing something that certainly has its significance. And it's nice because, again, it's just, pen and paper, and that's it. So it's just to show you that this is the Blade Runner movie. The set, the drawings that were made for the set. Are you okay, Christopher? I'm speaking too fast, eh? Did it translate or no? No. I love to kill dogs. In Ukrainian. Okay. Okay, so this is it's not serious, no one will die in the end. So this is for example, this is Blade Runner, and it's not a very good movie actually, I think. Actually, most of the people are seeing the city this way. There are no, you see a sci-fi movie, 99% of the movies will show a city this way. I mean, with fog, with gigantic geisha talking, and with spacecraft. That actually are never crashing into the buildings for some reason, but I mean, you know, drunk into this sort of thing, I mean, it goes straight to the mountain. Luckily, I'm not driving, so I made a choice when I was younger. I mean, it's you drink or you drive, so I choose to drink. Have people driving. Okay, this as well. This is just for me then. This is what has changed all my life. Do I have time? What time is it precisely? Move the lights. Move the lights. Hey, don't sleep. How much? Set up this. Okay, so I have 20 minutes then. Okay, so thank you. Bring on the lights. Bring on the lights. Thank you. Okay, so this movie, it's Pros and Cons of the Third Kind, and it's actually extremely well that I've seen this movie. I had no idea what it was. It was the first time I watched a movie without my parents, because they chose to go to see I don't know, R-rated movie, and it was forbidden for kids, and so they let me with an Australian couple, which is nothing you will do at all time, but in the 70s it was like, take my kid, I don't care, I have another one. And so I went to see the movie, and it was like an orgasm for a kid. I mean, there was lights, there was the sound, it was like everything, and I was without my parents. And probably it made me. This movie just made me. A few other things, but this is what it is. And as you can see, the Luxigon, what people are telling is the Luxigon style. It's really Pros and Cons of the Third Kind, but without the music, which is too bad. But sometimes we do as well. Okay, next one. So Douglas Trumbull, the guy who did the special effects for Blade Runner, also did the special effects for Pros and Cons, and this guy also did the special effects for 2001, Space Odyssey. So I was in love with this guy from the very beginning. I mean, well, I'm a boy, I'm not gay, I know, but Douglas Trumbull, you're my true love. Because they are probably the most incredible movie in the world. Okay, 20 minutes, I have to go faster. So this is a picture. This is another one. This is computer graphics, but well done by an architect called Neil Dinery. The same Neil Dinery, less inspired. OMA, and what is interesting is that actually I love OMA because they are now, and everything that you've seen before, they can aggregate all the medias and turn it into architecture, whether it's built or unbuilt. And the SMXL book is in a way my second, further encounter from the Third Kind. I mean, it was a moment. Okay, so this is interesting because this is the real building. This is the Viere rendering. It's funny that the Viere is better than the original building. But no, think so. It's just because the angle is better. For real, the other one is better. Because it's existing. And there's something very twisted. This guy is doing, Bertrand Benoit, is doing computer renderings. So it looks extremely realistic. And there is one fucked up guy that is doing the image but for real. Oh, where is that? I mean, you do computer rendering that is, extremely accurate and everything, and there is a guy that is reconstructing the exact same thing to make it real. I mean, we perspectivists, we use computer, and people are making things for real for us. Okay. Interesting facts. So it's for people that want to, do my job. So the best is to never do anything that is medical, because it's forbidden to, make things darker, fear, and everyone. So you have to have people dying in good health, which is surprising, but that's what it is. So when you're showing in hospital, everybody is like smiling, because if you put a really you won't say on the hospital, oh, you see how twisted it is? And of course, controversial because, you know, one is disgusting, and what is the best is rock music, which I will show one because I love rock music. I did only one, and I think I can have in my career. This is not interesting. This as well is not interesting. This could have been interesting, but I don't have time to explain it because. But I will put the PDF online so you can read all the French. These are 13 images I did. So I did. I mean, the office is doing images, but when I'm doing a lecture, I'd rather show my own images. This is the one that started it all. To make the story short, it was a problem. It was the first time I was working on a really nice project. So it's a project from Rex in the US. And Josh has become one of our best friends, actually. And he was doing a tower in Louisville, and it was impossible to shoot. And the deadline was approaching, and it was like, oh my God, I can't shoot from the street, it's not working. We don't have pictures. How can we show a building is, you know, with everything around? We don't just have a picture of this. So I said, yeah, maybe I can be on the roof of a building. And then I typed roof building sunset. And then this was the first picture I got while on Flickr. It was guys playing, you know, racquetball on top of a building. And I said, like, yeah, let's stick. So I stick the picture, and my plan was to remove the guy. And it was working so well that I discovered that it was possible to do graphism based on what I like, with a bit of, you know, random. And this image has been published like everywhere because it was an image that was extremely unusual. And I did it by mistake in a way. And it has changed most of the codes of the architectural image now. It's not like I invented everything or that I'm clever, but because I'm dumb, I have changed a few things. And this is short. So I will go fast. This is what the architects want. This is what you will get in the end. So we did this with the MBRTV, you know, from the Netherlands. It was called the reality filter. Because I'm in good terms with MBRTV, so they were working on a magazine. And they told me, like, can you do something? I said, like, I will do what I think is the main problem. This is what you want, this is what the people will get. Point made. Because they are MBRTV, they were cool, and it was published. And we have a lot of problems. This is the only class from OMA, it doesn't like renderings. He hates me the most he can. But actually, he told me once, like, I like only one of your rendering, and this one. I don't know why. I never asked, to be honest. But it's just to show you. Okay, this is a nice image. This as well is a nice image because, as you can see, it's night and it's dark and it's fucking beautiful. It's not blue, it's not dark and it's frightening, and there is a kid alone in there. Think the title French? Okay. This is a building from this is a building from MBRTV as well, and what was nice is that Vinny Mas told me about the movie. He said, my building is a movie. And it's a movie from Peter Greenaway. Then he died. No, he told me the title of the movie, I watched the movie, and then I understood that what he wanted is actually not the building itself, it was what is happening in between the building. So it's a lycée hôtelier. In French, we have, you know, a special type of school to learn people how to, you know, cook and do whatever with our food and Japan and then there is a real story in the image, and I think that it has well something interesting. If they lose the competition, the image will still be there because it's not everything is about the building. It's also the guy who did the image and the story that is in the image. And this is why it's always pleasing to, even if you see an image, you can see it like many times. For example, the Rembrandt paintings, every time there is a Rembrandt, I go, I watch it, and I see, damn it, it's even better than last time. Actually, it's not, but maybe better than last time. Okay, this is a super nice image. This is another nice image. We do only nice images. Well, for lectures. This as well is that you don't need computer powers and everything to do an image. You just put it wise a few people, and so it's not V-Ray that will do an image, or it's not a computer. Yeah. A lot of students think that it's a V-Ray, the software is working, while actually it's not. Did it translate the laugh? Christopher, did you translate when I was laughing? No. Okay. This as well is something interesting, is that a lot of really famous architects are doing competitions, and sometimes they lose competition, but we have the images of the competition, we have the traces, And this is what I like as well in the work I'm doing, is that I did more airports than anyone else. I did like, I don't know, 50 airports. I'm the king of airports. And when there is a new office that is saying, I did an airport, I say, I did 50 airports. And you're all wrong with the way you're working, because after a moment, you know how things are working. And actually, I can just by seeing the section, the elevation, or whatever documents, I can see how much the building cost. And when they are getting, too far. And sometimes it's just like, okay, this can be done with the budget you have. But do it in rendering. Yes, I know, but if you want, then it will be shorter. Should it be shorter now, so, it's not a problem later? Generally, they say no, because the whole point is winning. It's important to win. I love to win as well. This is nice, this is also nice. This is nice and yellow. And this is nice, because I'm still doing competitions, actually not really seriously, but this is something that I'm interested in as well. So it was a competition for the Helsinki album, and we received the brief, and the brief was extremely precise. Like, there will be a flower shop here, there will be, kids playing there. And sometimes, because you do renderings and you don't really care about what you're all about, I was reading a book on, volcanoes, and I was thinking, like, if Helsinki has some sort of volcano, the flower shop and everything, it would be completely secondary. So I proposed to put enormous dark balls over cities. And these balls are here for no reason, but sometimes they emit smoke, and sometimes, there is the storm and everything. And people always just enjoy their simple life every day. Like, maybe I will die tomorrow because of this huge device in the sky. Maybe I should, see my kid more often. Maybe I should, plant a tree because I'm afraid to die. And think of it seriously. Why the hell would you be under a volcano when there is so much place? There is so much space. Why under a volcano? People are weird. That's the end of it. In the end, it's not that. Okay. Case study, I will go faster. Yeah. Americans love you. Break the fucking. Okay, so I will go fast. It's just the way we're working. We're doing this project for MA. It's a justice, court, and the point was to. It's a very simple building, and actually it's designed like a balance. And this was the image they had, and it's nice when you're working with someone and has something in mind, and they can show you. And this image changed everything, because normally when you do renderings, you choose always the well angle, the wide angle, so it looks really enormous. Nobody is doing anymore, simple central points perspective. And that was the moment. So because Red Plus 8 renderings, by the way, I can do whatever I want, because in the end, they will yell at me and say that I'm massively French and whatever. I will say, okay. And this is my life with rap. And so we started with the twisted angle, but this is not like justice. Justice is something really simple. And in the end, but it's taking time. I mean, it's a long process, like a few hours or something. And then we choose to make it perfectly equal. And what is nice as well is that I had to put the Eiffel Tower in the background. Well, actually, the Eiffel Tower is. Can you see the pointer? That's the Eiffel Tower I put. This is where the Eiffel Tower actually is. In Ukraine, in Odessa. But it's a rendering, so you can do whatever you want. I mean, even the Eiffel Tower can change. And we did the same for the interior. Twisted angle, not kind, it's not justice. What you want from justice is something calm and actually in the middle. So there is as well meanings in two small things. People that are not in our field, they won't notice. But what the drawing is conveying, actually, you are understanding perfectly. And that's the whole point of doing what I'm doing, is sometimes you just do it simple so people will understand that it's simple. In the end, they lose the competition. Because you can have the most clever idea and everything. Yeah, that's the way it is. Okay, rock museum. So I want to show you a rock museum. Because my idol is Iggy Pop. I love Iggy Pop from all my heart. I mean, the last show we had Iggy Pop. And it was nice because it was, as well, it was a project with MBRTV, and I fought like no one else against what the project they were doing. I mean, I was yelling and all. I said, no, I won't do the rendering, do the rendering. No, it's rock and roll. It has to be dirty. It has to be, something different. No, do it clean, do it clean. No. I'm fucking, I'm a guitar player. I play rock and roll all my life. What I don't want, if I go to a concert, oh, darling, I'm speaking too fast, Christopher. No? Okay. What I want is rock and roll. So there is an imagery for rock and roll as well. And really, I was just fighting. I mean, this is what rockers want. I mean, they don't want something that is clean. They want fucked up kid. They want, girls playing guitar. They want, balloons with skulls. That's real rock and roll. And I'm ready for this. This is the preview, by the way. As very often, I prefer the preview to the final image. Because the preview I do myself, the final image is there. So this is to explain to you that it's super complicated, scientific, that it's technique, and nobody can do what I'm doing because I'm just because I'm technical or whatever. Okay, so you see blood, lights, this paper on the ground, the Ramones. I love the Ramones as well. People sad, cool. This is a preview, and this is the final. And as you can see, I have a little logo, so I'm kind of putting my little logo, like I'm the guy who is doing the concert. I'm a star, but not for real. And I mentioned I'm a star, so these are, a few images and the previews. This is the final. So as well, you can see that there are dark peoples and an angel. This is, the story of life and death. That's rock and roll. As well, this has subliminal message, but in the end, it's for real. This guy, to keep him in the image, it has been yelling over the phone for a year. No, we don't want a brown guy selling T-shirts, but there will be a brown guy selling T-shirts. We don't want it on the image, but there will be a brown guy selling T-shirts. There will be 10 guys selling T-shirts. I will keep the guy, and he will sell T-shirts. And they kept the guy, and they won the competition. And because I was so fucking right, they sent me the most expensive electric guitar on catalog. I just can play it, it's so expensive. But this is what I call rock and roll. And sometimes it's just working because instead of doing what they say, sometimes you do what they don't want, and sometimes it is really working. And that's the part of my job I love the most, is when people are intelligent enough to endure, something that is against what they want. And these guys, Kobe and Vladimir, are fantastic. I will finish by that because I'm sorry, I think it's getting a bit late. This is a competition we did just for the purpose of doing one image. Because sometimes I need, to think a little by myself. And what is nice with open competitions is that actually you can, do things with a deadline. So it's mandatory that you have to do it, and actually you pay. So it's fragile in a way. So you pay to do something that is annoying. That is where the world is fucked up to an extent. So we choose to do the New York City Vision competition. And actually, I found that picture. What is nice is that the guy from the Netherlands, they bought Manhattan for $25 silver, which is not a lot. I mean, some cigarettes and, I don't know, something not expensive. And what is nice is that it was already organized as a grid. I mean, Indians organized as a grid. Everybody was assuming like Indians were, a bunch of crazy guys climbing on trees or whatever. But no, they were organized. So the story is as no importance, but keep that in mind. Indians were organized. Thank you, Christopher. So the point was to make an image, and we need to borrow some documentation. And what New York is certainly is like, it's very, very well organized. And I don't have details for real, but everything is kind of on the grid. Everything is efficient and everything. And the point was not to change the history of architecture. The point was just to do one image. So we tried to borrow a few mental images like organization, grid. Then another, we did plan as well to pretend we are architects. We are architects, but we are bad architects. Right? So we did the same thing architects are doing. Plan showing things that are actually demonstrating that you were thinking. And you make it with small letters, so it's even more complicated. Actually, it's written small letters, small letters, small letters. Everything is in small letters. Nobody's reading it, basically. And so the idea was to mix, Space Mandela, because that's the perfect grid every time. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Space Mandela. And so it was organization, something that is heavy, that is organized, that is iron, and that is. So I'm always drawing by hand. I'm still when I'm working on projects. I'm always doing small drawings. I was the guy that was drawing at school. The people were saying like, don't draw geometry, you will do nothing in your life, and it's wrong. I did something that's wrong. So I had this image in mind. Don't ask me why, but that's the way it is. And then. This was the first preview, but actually it would be too simple. I mean, it's too impressive. It's too nice. It doesn't, show that you've worked. It's just a trick. I mean, you do that, and you have, moments of New York, like the John Lennon sentence, a statue giving the finger, which actually is interesting, and buildings. So I choose to go for something that is more complicated. And to be honest, this image, I did it, but in a way I'm impressed by the image itself. At some point, it's not even me. When I'm watching it, it's like someone else did it, and it's in a way influencing me. And this is as well something that is remarkable with drawings, is that even if you did it, you live under the rule of the drawing and actually not your rule. It's 7:30, no? Is it 7:30?
No.
Yes.
Is it later than 7:30? Okay, there is 3 slides. What is the future of rendering? Real-time rendering. So you will show. This is where architects should be interested into this thing. Is that more or less you will be able to try something and check if it's working. And by the way, I still think that perspective is the most accurate is the most accurate way of representation than, for example, plants or section or whatever. I mean, I understand the point of plant and section and everything, but in the end, it will be a human guy, my size or much bigger, that will handle the building. And these lines, I think, the one, the relationship in between the geometry and the guy watching it is, in my opinion, something that really matters. So, real-time 3D you will have a real sense of what it is. So, as you know, everything is in 3D, even by movies. So now, when you're seeing a fruit on television, when you're seeing a cat, it's a fake cat and it's a fake fruit. And this is a very depressing world, that the computers are making things better than reality. I mean, this is not a world I want to live in, and that's why I'm smoking. And I'm annoying Christopher to speak of myself. This is as well something architects have to keep in mind. Yeah. Oh, boys. To keep in mind that at some point you won't need an architect anymore, because you will tell the computer, I have a terrain, and the computer will say, show me the terrain. So you will show the paper and few pictures, so you will model the terrain, and you will say, well, I have 1,000 euros or your money, and I don't call the name of the friendly money, but that's your money. And you say, I want a greenhouse, I want 3 people and everything, and because the computer is capable of handling a huge database, and you will say, like, I want it in the style of Encore, my French friend, and it will compute everything, and then you will have a building that is ready to build. And I mean, you should be feared as hell that the computer will take your place, because it will be much better, more accurate. And we say, I want it in plastic because I've seen something really nice in plastic, and bang, the computer will do it for free. And it will work. Oh my goodness. Immersion, yeah, it will work because sex is like everything. I mean, without sex, no internet, no nothing. So, immersion, you will have an helmet like this because you want this. You will have an helmet like this because you want this. You get the point? Okay, last slide. What I think is important is, because computer can make things real, there will be computer that will show that it is fake. And in the end, you can go and be drunk in the park. Because the computer that will fight against it. This is a real fruit. No, it's not. This is a real cat. No, it's not. And you've been drunk in the park. And as well, I'm working on a software that is a super slow rendering engine that is taking so much time to render the building that in the end you just don't do the rendering because it's too late, the deadline is over. I think I will become rich with that. Okay, so you've seen 107 slides and you are good people.